The initial concept was actually just around, I wonder how much of these trails at either end exist. Can they be recovered? Then that kind of evolved, ooh, gee, I wonder what that country looks like in between. And so then it just starts snowballing, and when you finally get it, you're like, oh shit, now we've got to do this thing. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? Yeah, Phil?
Come on in, that's Mo. Say hi, Mo.
I'm Ruth Holcomb.
My name's Ben. Who do I speak to the camera?
I'll look at you.
We're here to ride the Old Ghost Road.
What is the Old Ghost Road? Yeah, what is it? That's a pretty basic, good question.
The Old Ghost Road is, in simple terms, an 85-kilometre multi-use trail.
And it goes from Lyell to Seddonville.
It's on the west coast of the South Island, New Zealand.
But to us, it's shown so many faces that we never thought existed.
We did see ourselves on a mission beyond just creating a trail.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a little thread of a track through the wilderness. It opens up a whole sense of the community's vision of itself.
You would struggle to find anyone in the community that doesn't know about it. And we are so proud and inspired by the legacy it's creating.
We're gonna do it in 2 days. We're going to stay the night at Ghost Lake Hut. The first day is like 30K. It's almost all climbing with maybe a little bit of descent at the end.
Assuming you're doing an overnighter, you need a sleeping bag, lots of food,
Lots of layers.
waterproofs, maybe thermals.
A backpack to carry everything. Might need bags for your bike as well. More snacks, tube, tools to fix your bike, anything like that. If you don't have those on your bike, you probably shouldn't be out there. I don't know.
No, you don't want to be caught off guard up there.
We did have all of those things, but Ben and I were not carrying them.
Playing cards, toothbrush, toothpaste, tube. That's all you need. Just need a cameraman.
So you start at the Lyell Historic Reserve. It was actually the very site where a nugget was discovered in 1886 and gave rise to the whole gold boom, and Lyell became a bustling town of 5,000 people. If you're slogging hard and your head's just down on your wheel, you're not going to notice, but on the side of the trail, you can start seeing all the litter that will give you a clue of what was there only 120 odd years ago.
Big shoe.
The old map that kind of started all this was from the 1880s. It was a survey of a road that was envisioned to go from the town of Lyell to Seddonville. So it was a gold mining route that was intended to be built, but never came to fruition.
So you start 100 metres above sea level. You spend 30 kilometres just climbing, basically, from 100 metres to 1,300 metres. I assume for people like Ben and Ruth, fine, but for your average rider, your legs are cocked.
Oh, it's hot.
Those that take on getting to Ghost Lake in a day, they know they've got there.
So much climbing today, it's crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things that we are most proud about has been the level of local engagement and involvement in the trail. And that's not just around the build phase or the maintenance, but it's been even around things like the Old Ghost Ultra.
A one-day ultra running race, couldn't think of anything worse.
To see the growth in local participation in that is remarkable.
The first Old Ghost Ultra was something like a handful of locals. Last month we had 40 locals.
Sarah's now what I'd call, the godmother of trail running in Westport. She's inspired a whole nother wave of particularly women trail runners in the district, and her performances are off the charts. So it's just been a joy to see.
So pretty.
Yeah, it just gets better and better.
This is a medium-grade metamorphic rock called greywacke.
What's medium grade mean? So Ruth knows a lot about rocks.
I'm a chemistry major and also an earth science major. It means that when it was metamorphized, it wasn't like highly compacted, it was like medium compacted.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. Medium grade is like pretty legit.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm on my spring break from school, so I wasn't really planning on talking about the rocks, but they're pretty cool to look at, and it's like cool to be able to identify them.
What have you found?
Medium grade, what did it say?
It's a greywacke.
Greywacke. Medium grade greywacke.
Right.
And when it metamorphosized, it was like kind of not fully compressed, but kind of a little bit compressed. Did I get it right?
Yeah, that was great. We're a little over 10 kilometers in.
You climb and climb and climb for 12 kilometres. You'll come to a site called the Big Slips where earthquakes basically cause the hillsides to fall away.
There we go.
Wow. You pop out and you're like, oh wow, I've like really climbed a ways, and it didn't really feel like it. It was cool to like go in and out of the trees and like keep checking how far up you've come.
Yeah, high. Loved it.
From there, then the trail buttons off in gradient a little bit to Lyell Saddle.
We get up to where the Lyell hut is, and we thought, oh, it's a nice hut, let's go look at it. We also look at the sign and realize we only have like 12K left in the day. We go up to the hut, and Ben puts on a cup of tea. Making some tea.
That's exactly what's going on. Does anyone want a cup of tea?
I would love a cup of tea, thanks. Yeah.
Johnny?
Hi, go on then.
He boiled so much water, and it was taking so long. So you've seen a kaka, and we saw a kia, but not today. So many new birds for me. That's a weka that just walked by behind us.
And then you've seen Kedadu.
How do you say that?
Kedadu. South Island robin. That's a real friendly one.
Yeah, I feel like that one looks familiar. So yeah, we were up there for a really long time. And finally kept going. The rock has all changed. It's all granite now. It's an igneous rock, so it's volcanic.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not volcanic, it's intrusive, which means it cooled in the earth. You see like the quartz crystal there?
Yeah.
If it cooled slowly, the crystals are bigger. If it's less big pieces in it, then it was like spat out of a volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. We can start putting the rock samples in your backpack, if that's okay.
You're going to climb up Bald Hill through amazing cloud forest, and at about the 24-kilometre mark, you're going to start to get out of the forest and into the big open tops of the Lyell Range.
It's just beautiful rolling terrain and amazing views.
All right, are you guys ready to see the sickest view in the whole world?
Let's go and find some views.
Yep.
It's real alpine area, rocky, gritty, gnarly, and you're all but at heaven's door, really.
We've made it to heaven's door.
So that's exciting. Here is what it looks like on a good day. About 5K from Ghost Lake Hut.
Ben told me it's all downhill from here. So if he's lying, I'm gonna be a little upset, but it's been like a beautiful climb. Nothing too steep or crazy. Perfect day, except for the view.
That's the only view you need, right, to say.
News. We found a view. Look at that. Getting chased by the cloud. It's coming in hot. Oh, Ghost Lake Hut, 1 min.
The first view we got wasn't really until Ghost Lake Hut. The clouds parted and it was pretty incredible. We were really high up.
It was like just beautiful. You could see like some clouds below, just rolling green hills, some mountains.
What a day.
What a day.
And that's our trail tomorrow. This doesn't end.
What do we have, like 55K tomorrow or something? Yeah.
But mainly descending.
55K of almost ascent doesn't sound too bad at all.
Hopefully we'll get some good views in the morning. Seen better.
Breakfast, the porridge. It maybe wasn't the best breakfast ever, but it was the best breakfast ever because of the sunrise.
I reckon we should have porridge out here. What's looking at that? There's a lot of porridge. I was too busy looking at the sunrise, and then it just got way too claggy. Don't matter, does it? It's just porridge.
We don't have to go into more details about the porridge. Today we get to go down for a while. You can see the trail goes down there, does some switchbacks, goes up on that ridge. We'll finish out the day at Rough and Tumble. Oh, Ben, say hi.
Hi. Who are you talking to? We left Ghost Lake Hut. We started with ascent.
Some of the switchbacks are like really technical and you're kind of on a cliff. Oh. Tight one.
Oh. Gnarly corner.
Look how far we've come. Whoa.
Skyline Ridge.
You can see Ghost Lake Hut.
You see the hut? Holy shit, look at the hut.
You can see the trail the whole way down. I didn't realize our hut was like perched on a cliff up there.
Skyline Ridge, you go along a beautiful ridge line.
The literal journey, taking a bike or taking a tramp from Lyell to Seddonville, is reading a page-turning novel. Every bend in the track is literally turning a page in a book.
This is probably a very difficult question. What's your favourite part?
That was right on the edge.
There are so many iconic bits, but actually there's something really magical about a piece of the trail that not many hit on, but I continue to just be moved by it. And it's when you get a long skyline, it's that 5 kilometres from there on a big descent, you'll hardly pedal.
Phil's favourite part?
That was probably one of my favorite parts of the trail as well.
Things become a bit faster and a bit flowier.
Phil knows what's up, obviously.
Cool.
Oh, sick. So cool in here. Definitely still some corners that like catch you a little bit. You're like, oh.
You can't really trust the corners.
No, not at all. You don't know what's on the other side.
No. Kept you on your feet, and it's really good fun.
You descend through the rainforest, the rocks change again. It's like a shale or a siltstone. The gray whack that we saw yesterday is this stuff that's been like compressed. Really solid descent down to Stern Valley for sure. I think getting there took us like over half the day. And then we hit the boneyard. Boneyard! All right, Ben, we've got a new one for you. Do you want to guess before we talk about it? He was somewhat interested.
Schist-like?
Sometimes he'd be a little tired and I'd be like, Ben, come look at this rock. And he would be like, probably not listening.
Limestone, no?
Yeah,
Limestone.
Limestone.
Yes! This is what a lot of stuff's made out of back home.
If you hit it with hydrochloric acid, it'll fizz.
Yeah.
That's how you identify it.
And also acidic rain.
Oh.
Deteriorates it fast.
Interesting.
Which is why like cathedrals and big castles and stuff like all round off and deteriorate. Limestone, not to be, what's the other one? Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with lemon stone, which is a bit, it's got a different tinge to it. I'll give you a shout when I see some.
Okay. We're headed up.
The climb out of the boneyard was the biggest climb on the second day.
You think you've done all that climbing in that first day to Ghost Lake, but you'll be reminded what climbing is on that climb up through the boneyard.
You feel like a rattlesnake's going to jump out at you. It's pretty cool, and it just winds up for a few kilometres up to Solemn Saddle.
Imagine being here when this exploded.
That'd be crazy.
It's interesting to hear how it was formed.
Basically, there's an earthquake and the shock waves hit this hill and didn't really have anywhere else to go. And so it just like exploded the hill. So we're riding through these just like massive boulders of limestone all over. Pretty sick. That's the last big climb. We're making good time. No worries, girl. Well, not really, but I think that's when we started to realize that like we had a long way to go.
Still got more riding to do today than all of yesterday.
Mm-hmm. We've made it to Solemn Saddle. Ben?
Yes, sir.
Solemn.
Hold on. Do it again. Turn it around. Do it again. Oh, look. My pack horse has arrived.
Snack time.
Right. On you go. How good.
See what we got? No cracks on him?
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The descent down from Solemn Saddle is really good fun. Okay.
All right. Down we go.
between the boneyard and solemn saddle is actually where the diggers kissed when they met the trail. They built the trail from each end to meet in the middle.
I remember the day, October 2015, probably had 1,000 times before that wondered, can we get there? Will I ever see that moment?
Did we ever feel out of our depth? Oh, many times. We were kids in the sandbox. It was impossible.
So much of life had been poured into getting to that moment. To reach it was just so joyous and wonderful.
We were too naive to know that we couldn't do it, so we did.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we popped the cork and it was pretty special and it'll live with me for the rest of my life.
It makes you appreciate what's gone before you and the time and effort that have been involved in creating that space for us.
At that point, we kind of just started going race pace. Seems that Ben is quite ready for dinner.
Part of the reason for the pace was the 6 p.m. deadline for cooked food at the Rough and Tumble.
We're back to sprinting up all the hills, getting some real training in here. Yeah, we really had to get moving, so we really picked up the pace.
Looking at the elevation map, you'd think that the last 20k would drag, but honestly, I think that is where we had the most fun.
No bouncing.
You had the Mokahinui River on your right-hand side.
Steep-sided gorge, cliff-hugging trail, hard-benched.
So you're just following this fast-flowing, pretty intense river.
It's relatively flat, but it just rolls right out to the rough and tumble.
And so that's the old Ghost Road. Very different chapters, very different feel, different geology, different vegetation.
Bend after bend, it brings a new aspect of what the West Coast is. This was a corner of New Zealand that was really underappreciated. It was just the privilege of a lifetime. And the best thing I've ever undertaken.
Oh, not again.
It's just an amazing thing to be a part of, and it's inspired people to get out.
I just walked it 2 months ago, and it blew me away, as if I had never done it before. And it's like, can there be more?
Oh.
That was amazing.
Beautiful.
So good. That last 30k, honestly, I love it. Just flowing through the woods with some pace. So much fun. Like, yeah, buzzed. It's like 20 different bike rides in one.
I can't fathom getting that map and being like, yeah, we're gonna make this happen.
And to think some sections took a day to build 4 meters and it's 85 kilometers. Like, where do you even start on something like that?
It's pretty incredible that they built a trail through all of that. I've never seen anything like it.
We had our 10-year anniversary just recently over summer. We turned 10. We don't often take time to just reflect and pause, so we did that. We had a celebration. We pulled together folk from the building era, the operating, maintenance, and it was a chance to join those families that often stay separate and just to help those people understand what they've helped to create, and also to share a little bit of insight into the future and the possibilities and where we might be able to take this. It's an opportunity to create benefit and impact well beyond just a trail.
There are dreams ahead of us. All the dreams are not behind us.
It's just probably the next chapter, and it will keep writing itself, and it will be a joy if we're around to even see how that unfolds. Yeah, I'm not at all over it. There's so much more to do. Yeah.